You zip me up.
What?
There you go. All the way.
Oh, cow!
Let's go. So one of the most powerful moments of my life, by far, was the moment I met my son. When I called the adoption agency, I really thought they'd just hang up the phone on me. I led with like all the negatives. Like I said, I really want to be a dad, but I'm single, I'm gay, I'm HIV positive, and I'm broke. When the adoption agency called me, it was really fast. I thought they were kidding. And they asked if I could go into the hospital and meet this little boy, and I went in and I picked him up for the first time. I was holding him and I just felt more love than I ever thought possible. And he was asleep, and then when he opened his eyes, he just looked up at me and he put his little hand on my cheek, and that was it. Just lost it. And it was just one of those peak moments in my life that changed everything. What I realized was that that is what my yoga practice aims for me, is the ability to have every moment be a peak moment, to have every moment be filled with love and compassion. Good evening. My name is Darren Main. I'll be teaching the class this evening. Consider the busyness of your mind and the chaotic world around us. One of the things I started to realize when I started teaching at Grace Cathedral was a similarity that I didn't expect. One of the things that I started to notice is that when people would walk into a church to practice yoga, they had these deep emotional reactions and a lot of almost hesitation to do it. And it reminded me of something that I had seen many times before, and that was when people who had experienced significant amounts of trauma in their body. But the bigger thing I see is that subtle undercurrent of people coming home to their spirituality in a place that was formerly viewed as hostile territory. Because they had been so traumatized, either they were literally told to leave or made to feel unwelcome. And each one had their own reasons. Some were gay, some had an abortion, some got divorced. But then reframing that narrative into something that helps them move up in life, right? To hold their chest higher and be free. I define yoga as the joining together of that which is perceived to be separate. That we go through life and we perceive things as being separate. That my interests are separate from yours. My tribe is separate from your tribe. So yoga is a system of tools to join together that which is perceived to be separate. One of the most fundamental concepts in yoga is that of the ego. It's like a snowball going through life collecting stories that we have about ourselves. I got good grades in school, therefore I'm smart. I got bad grades in school, therefore I'm dumb. We attach them, what Buddhists and yogis would call an attachment. And that collection of attachments and stories and narratives help us to answer the question, who am I? What am I? What is my purpose here? And those things are almost never real. And so we go through our lives carrying these stories that are not true, and they cause us to suffer. All the searching we do is a constant affirmation that there's something missing, right? I'll be complete and whole when I find my soulmate, when I have a child, when I get that raise. What a lot of Eastern philosophy, Buddhism and yoga, teach is that you're perfect. There's nothing to do. All you have to do is sit still and be quiet. If we can do that in our own lives, if we can stop searching and just be at peace now, and then act from that place, it's a powerful posture to take. When I wrote Yoga and the Path of the Urban Mystic, what I was reflecting on was the idea that I didn't really want to live in a monastery or an ashram somewhere. I didn't want to spend all day meditating. And so I tried to create a life that was both ashram-like, very mindful and centered around my yoga practice and my meditation practice, but at the same time was in the world. There's nothing wrong with having a Facebook profile. There's nothing wrong with having a Twitter feed. There's nothing wrong with checking your email. But do it mindfully. Treat it as you would a yoga practice. For me, an urban mystic is someone who maintains that modern, busy life, but tries to apply the principles of yoga to every facet of it. My definition of success in life has changed a lot over the years. There was a time when, as a yoga teacher and author, I thought I'll be successful when I have a best-selling book, or when my classes are packed full and I'm speaking at yoga journal conferences or whatever. But my definition of success is when somebody comes up to me after class and says, coming to your class changed my life or helped me get through a particularly difficult period. Not even all the time, just every once in a while I'll get an email from some young kid who lives in the middle of nowhere, who is just riddled with guilt and shame, and he found my book. And it helped him. That's success.